I think focusing on that is really helpful for people as they age. And you don't need to start the way I explain it right now makes it seem like, oh, I already lost 30% of my muscle. It must be too late to start. It's not too late to start. If you start working towards some of these pieces of your health, you can reverse that. You can reverse your biological age. You can start gaining muscle mass, and it doesn't matter how old you are, and become more of a functional human being that's going to be set up to live a longer life. There are a lot of things you can do, and it's never too late to start a journey for your health.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sounds of Health. I'm your host, Dave MacNiven, and today I'm excited to welcome our guest, Andrew Martin. Andrew is a health and performance advisor and the owner and CEO of Precision Human Optimization, and we're really excited to have him on the show. For the first time, we're actually streaming live not only on Facebook, but on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram and watching us and anything looks or sounds bad, we're going to blame Jason Karubia, our producer. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy the show. If you are here for Andrew, and we hope you are, we ask you to please be sure and like and subscribe to Sounds of Health, where every week we uncover inspiring stories, we highlight incredible people like Andrew, and we share valuable resources to help you to boost your physical, emotional, and financial well-being. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Long time coming, actually.
Yeah.
So excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here as well.
That's great. So we're going to dive right into it. First, because this is your first time here, and hopefully not your last, we want to learn a little bit about you. So how about you just tell us about where you're from, what got you started, and led you on your path to where you are today?
Yeah, so from Bristol, Connecticut. I grew up being an athlete like a lot of other people, and when I got to college, I sort of lost that like competitive outlet that I had growing up, right? I played 3 sports. I was always active, and I gained a lot of weight. And I also just didn't feel good about myself. Like I think having a physical outlet for me to just dump my energy into was really good for me. And I didn't know at the time, right? But I gained a bunch of weight in college. And whether that's the freshman 15 or 30 or 40 or whatever it was, right? The unlimited dining hall food.
Yeah.
And so I gained a lot of weight in college and didn't really do much about it for the first 2 years, honestly. But my last couple of years, I found CrossFit. And so I got into CrossFit and through doing a Spartan race. And so I kind of found my love for physical activity again. And at the same time, I did that and I lost 40 pounds and became very passionate about health and wellness and fitness just because it dramatically transformed the way I felt about myself and my life, right?
Yeah.
At the time. In college, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So I was pre-med.
Okay.
And
where were you at school?
Endicott.
Okay.
Endicott College, which is just north of Boston.
Sure.
And so, I was taking all these pre-med classes and biology and biochemistry. And I really loved learning about the human body and the way that the pathways were. I mean, I just thought it was incredible. And, but somewhere along the way, I realized I didn't want to be a doctor. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll be a physical therapist or a chiropractor. I got into chiropractic school. And then I just decided not to do it, right? And so I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I had this science background. I knew I really liked biology and biochemistry and science, and so I started working in a biotech company. And about 24 hours after working at this biotech company, I knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, right?
Okay.
And so I was just working in a fume hood, and like you would change the colors of the caps and the vials, and that's what you were labeling and changing colors of caps and vials all day long. It was horrible.
That's crazy.
And so I still had this like passion of fitness and health and nutrition in the background that I developed over the last few years, right? And so I was like on the side of working at this biotech company, I was coaching at a CrossFit gym that was below the biotech company, like it was in the same building.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was actually probably the thing that like saved me for that year. That was probably the toughest year of my life from just like feeling like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, like loss of passion, a little bit of depression.
Yeah, sure.
I lost a couple of family members that year as well. And everything, I just felt like I was being hit by a truck, right? I hated what I was doing. And eventually I just quit. Like I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to figure out.
With the biotech.
Yeah, I just quit my biotech job, right? Which it was scary for everyone in my life. They're like, you have a good job, you're making good money. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I quit and I took a job coaching more full-time at this gym and part-time doing other things, making a quarter of what I was making at the biotech company.
Yeah,
but like,
of course.
I was so happy, you know?
That's great.
And so that's really when I started helping people in the fitness space, like full-time, right? And at that point I was just doing fitness and some nutrition on the side. And personal training, coaching some group classes, right?
Yeah. And where are you at this point?
I'm still in the same town that is Beverly, Massachusetts.
Okay,
The same town
gotcha.
where Endicott is. And so yeah, so I was coaching at a CrossFit gym. I was working at St. John's Prep, which is a very renowned prep school there. And I was like in their strength and conditioning program, and so I was like running their strength and conditioning sessions. And you know, so I was helping people a lot with fitness nutrition, but I still feel like there was like a piece missing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really sure what that was, but I just knew that a lot of my clients were working really hard and not making progress. Right. And that was frustrating because for me, I was like this young kid at the time. I was like, well, like when I exercise and eat healthy, I lose weight. And I feel
it works.
Yeah, it works really well.
Right. It doesn't take much either.
Yeah. But like for a lot of my clients, that wasn't necessarily the case. Like it's 50% of people get results, 50% of people don't. Right. And I didn't really know what was going on. Anyway, I've been doing that since then, right? Nutrition and fitness primarily. But I think what really catalyzed me to where I'm at today was I had moved home. I was working at a gym back home in Farmington. And I one day just got sick, like really sick all of a sudden. And I didn't know what hit me, but I felt like just I got hit by a ton of bricks, right?
Yeah.
I was fatigued. And I started getting these red spots show up on my skin, and they would show up on my forearm, my calf, and they would debilitate whatever muscle that came up. Complete. Like when I got on my calf, I couldn't walk, right? So I'd be bedridden. And turns out it was something called erythema nodosum, which is caused by they don't know what. And so the answer I went around and saw every specialist, doctor everywhere, right? Yeah. So like shuttled around to all of them, dermatologists. They thought I had a stroke at one point, so I was seeing. Oh my God. I got scans from a retina specialist. I had to get a bubble heart scan. Like I went through every specialist ever, endocrinologist, all of them, and no one could figure out what was wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And the answer ended up, after years of a few years of this happening, ended up being you just need to take antibiotics for the rest of your life every day.
Wow!
And so I was on antibiotics for 5 years.
That's
every
crazy.
Day. And I just like along the way, I kept like I knew in the back of my mind that this couldn't be the answer to like what was happening.
Yeah.
Right? But to them, it was either I take antibiotics or I take ibuprofen every day. And it didn't sit well with me, right? And I had tried experimenting, coming off and doing more natural things, right? So that experience sort of catalyzed me into like going down a more natural route of trying to figure out what the root cause of my problem was.
Right.
And ended up, finding a guy who's a naturopath and functional doctor, and he ran a whole host of additional tests on me that no other doctor had done with me, and found out that I had essentially elevated levels of EBV. It's a Epstein-Barr virus.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I came off the antibiotics and I tried addressing this, and they went away, and they haven't come back since.
Oh, wow.
And that experience just like made me realize that the traditional medical system, for a lot of reasons, is underserving people. Mm-hmm. For some situations, obviously it's amazing. Like the advances in medicine is insane, right?
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, it's underserving them. And, I just realized that there had to be other people who were also struggling with these sort of autoimmune or weird conditions. And and things that were preventing them from feeling their best, right? Because I was just you could talk to my wife. It was years of me just like not wanting to do things. Like I remember, she would ask me to go on a hike, and I remember she asked me to go on a hike one day with our dog, and I was like sitting on the couch, like I can't do anything today. Like, and I knew I wanted to have a family future. Like this can't go on, right?
Right. Yeah.
And just like the system was not designed to help people like me who, it was a little bit of a more needed a more in-depth approach to really figure out what's going on.
So was there always so these were spots that were appearing on different parts of your body and would affect the actual muscle?
Yeah. So what erythema nodosum is essentially it's inflammation of the layer of tissue between the skin and the muscle.
Okay.
And so it gets whatever muscle is really inflamed. But like if it's on my calf, like I wouldn't be able to flex my foot.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
And so I'd be walking around like on my tippy toe on one leg, just like limping.
Wow.
And was
it constant? You were always dealing with one?
Yeah. They would just keep flaring up.
Okay.
Like I would get them weekly if I wasn't on my antibiotics. The antibiotics did stop them from coming on. I just didn't want to be on them forever.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Because that probably came with side effects as well.
Of course. Right.
Yeah.
The digestive issues. It's not good for you in general. Right. The other piece of the solution was ibuprofen every day, and like that was not going to be good for your health either. Right? And I was like, I feel like I'm in a lose-lose situation here. Right.
Yeah.
So I went through and I got this advanced, assessment done, right? And what I realized was that this is something that I knew a lot about already from my biology background. Like I could help people do this if I got a little more education on it and understood a little bit more about the nuances. But with my educational background, like I could go and do an analysis of someone's, blood chemistry and understand what's happening in their blood work. Right. And help them make better tweaks and adjustments to what they're doing so they can optimize their health moving forward. Right. And so I just went down trainings of functional, medicine and functional nutrition, mentorships and certifications and nutrition and gut health and metabolism and all over the last 10 years, and figuring out different pieces of that because I just realized that for people to get to where they want to go, a lot of times we have these underlying issues and underlying dysfunction that's really holding us back from performing in having the health that we want to have, right? And the problem is for a lot of people that I found is that so in traditional medicine, it's very binary. Like you're either sick or you're not sick, right?
Right, yeah.
And the problem is that a lot of us are not sick, but we're not where we want to be. And so what I realized was there's layers and it's not binary, right? There's what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially there's tiers, right? You could be optimal. You could be in optimal health.
Yeah.
You could be doing okay.
Yeah.
You could be, deficient. You could be, you could be
it's
in
not
critical
either
condition.
or.
It's not either
spectrum.
or. Right. Exactly. It's a spectrum. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And so the question really is, on that spectrum, where are you?
Yeah.
Right. And how healthy are you? Not just are you healthy or not? And I think figuring that out is just not going to really happen through the traditional sources sometimes, right? You need to go a little bit more advanced and advocate for yourself a lot of the times too.
Right.
And so anyway, that's where we're at today. I launched my business that I started 4 years ago, where we essentially do a more advanced assessment on people. We do their blood chemistry, we do a stool analysis, we look at their hormones, their inflammatory markers, their micronutrient status, their toxic exposure, and how these things are influencing them, right? We also look at their nutrition and what they're doing for lifestyle and exercise and their habits that they have. And then with all that information, we can really create the most personalized game plan for them that's going to address their unique issues.
Yeah.
And just digs a little bit deeper for those people who like the traditional ways of doing things aren't working.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so it's been super successful. People the clients who do it get amazing results. Right.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at today.
That's fantastic. So when you started the business, you said how many years ago?
I actually I have to think about it. 3.5 probably.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing right before that? Were you still coaching in the gym?
Yeah. So I was working in a gym. I was doing mostly personal training and nutrition coaching specifically for people. So, I wasn't doing any of the like advanced assessment side of things, but we were doing like we would do a mobility and flexibility assessment. We worked with a lot of people who were in pain, who had joint restrictions or history of injuries right, that they're trying to recover from and get back to physical activity. So working with a lot of like, middle aged to older people who wanted to get back to living an active life.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So then you're taking what you were doing and then you just built upon it and created this business out of it, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So I went off on my, we were doing a lot of in-person stuff there. Now all I do, everything we do is online.
Okay.
So people will come in, they meet with me virtually, we run their assessment, and then I can customize their protocols for what they're going to do for nutrition, for exercise, for supplementation, for lifestyle habits to implement, for biohacking strategies, right, that are unique to their goals.
Okay. So are they, for the blood work and stuff, are they getting that done on their own and sending you results, or how's that work?
Yeah, so we order it for them, and then they go to a local lab or they get a phlebotomist to come to their house or their office.
Oh, okay.
And then the results just get shipped. Yeah, it's very simple.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then you'll review those results with them and you'll customize not only a training program, but you said a nutrition program?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. For nutrition, any supplements that they would need in addition to that are, the supplement thing is interesting because I think a lot of people are just trying random stuff. Like, oh, I have bad sleep. I'm going to try a random supplement, right?
Yeah.
Or I've been told vitamin D is good, right? Yeah. And so the benefit of going through a process like this is you can really identify what your unique deficiencies are and then target those specifically with specific or supplements or specifics for nutrition or even changes in the types of exercise you should be doing based on your unique situation, right? So it just allows you to get more personalized.
Yeah, that's hugely helpful for people, I think, because we're being constantly marketed to as well. So not only in addition to somebody saying, oh, you should have vitamin D, or a doctor saying, here, take this supplement, you're seeing it everywhere you go. Oh, this thing is going to help you with this and that and this. And, if you're a sucker like me, sometimes you fall for the snake oil.
Oh, it's totally. I mean, it's not unreasonable. The amount of supplements that I tried to fix my autoimmune issue, was out of this world, right? And then when I finally got the right answer, it was easy. I had a couple supplements that essentially stop the replication of viruses and then kill it off. And within a couple months, I was symptom free, and I was
incredible.
It was absolutely incredible, right? Considering I was unable to move around in my day to day, and then I went back to being feeling 100% normal. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just such a firm believer in figuring out what your unique constraints might be, because they can be so different, and we're humans and we're complex and everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
And so knowing what you need to do for your health goals is hugely, hugely helpful, because the other thing about the health industry is it's super overwhelming. There's so much information.
Right. Yeah. You don't know who to listen to, who to trust.
You don't know who to listen to, who to trust. Yeah. And the same generic advice might be very helpful for one person and completely harmful for another person, and they may have the exact same symptoms. They may be presenting the exact same way, but the problem that they're trying to solve is actually very different. And so, an easy example is like intermittent fasting or keto, right? Yeah. There's tons of these nutrition strategies, and it's, well, what's going to be right for me? I've heard all these things work. People rave about them. Other people hate them. And, I don't believe that anyone I don't believe in living or dying by any of these strategies. It's just trying to figure out what's going to be right for you.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then using them for the right situation.
Yeah. You are a completely unique individual. And so what works for somebody might not work for you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's trial and error, and it's working with somebody that's guiding you so that you're doing things safely.
Yeah.
And of course, consulting your physician and doing all the right things. But I think that's part of the scary thing right now, because not only are we being marketed to, are we being kind of sold on a number of different solutions and supplements and all of these types of diet plans. But then people are also so overwhelmed that sometimes they don't just take action. And it's keeping people from actually taking action.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's paralysis by analysis, right?
Completely, yeah. And
I don't think AI and ChatGPT is helping us with this.
You don't think so?
Well, I think that it's actually adding to the overwhelm, because it's just giving people more access to more information, and we don't need more information every time. You need more specific information to your situation, but then you just need to simplify things, block out the noise, and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part is doing something.
It is. Just getting started.
Yeah.
It's like with anything. Getting started is really hard.
Yeah. But I think everyone's got their unique problems and unique roadblocks. Someone might have kids. Someone a woman might be in menopause and can't sleep, and we have to have solutions in place for those things to help people, give them the best chance to be able to implement a plan.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the positive trends right now, and we talked about this on a couple of episodes of this podcast, is it does seem like we're getting to a point where we are removing the stigma from certain things. So for instance, I know there's, that program Masterclass that has a whole class on menopause. And, that's just something nobody ever used to talk about.
Yeah.
We had someone in here talking about testosterone replacement therapy, erectile dysfunction, all of these things that people kind of always hid and were embarrassed by are symptoms of something greater happening, right? Like these are things that we really do need to address in order to live healthier lives, to optimize our health.
Yeah.
So that I think is a positive where we're starting to remove the stigma of those things. We're starting to talk about it more.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think another big one that falls into that bucket is gut health issues. Like no one wants to talk about, their constipation and diarrhea.
Right.
Or that they're bloated or that they have a lot of bad gas. Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's becoming more normal that, gut health is actually this really important thing that needs to be focused on and understood more about if we want to address the root cause of issues.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I think, like, for example, like men's the amount of times I've seen a male start with me and they have low testosterone and it's being caused by gut issues is astronomical.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Astronomical.
Well, the gut affects everything, right?
It does. I mean, the gut affects absolutely everything, right? And like your hormones are very much modulated by your gut health. Your gut health controls a lot of that. I mean, a quick example of testosterone is a lot of. Have you heard of leaky gut?
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily know how to define it.
Quickly.
Okay,
right?
perfect.
So basically, leaky gut is when the intestinal lining, the wall of your intestines, becomes too permeable.
Okay.
So it's, the term in the literature will be intestinal permeability, but basically your intestines need to be a little bit permeable because they need to absorb nutrients from your food and things from your food, right? But when those gaps, they're called tight junctions, become too big, things that shouldn't be able to slip through into your bloodstream from your intestines can make it through. And one of those things is called lipopolysaccharide. And it's basically an inflammatory compound. Right?
Okay.
But so it causes systemic inflammation when people have leaky gut and directly suppresses the production of testosterone in men, both at the testes and at the brain. In the brain, where we produce LH, which is the signal to make testosterone in the testes. So it can directly suppress testosterone in both those ways. And so many people are walking around with leaky gut. It's one of the most common issues we see.
Yeah.
Whether it be from eating too many processed foods or alcohol consumption. Alcohol will dramatically increase leaky gut, or just having dysbiosis, which is an imbalance of bacteria in your gut. All these things can cause this problem, and then you end up with low testosterone. And a lot of people are just going right to testosterone, which is not. I'm a huge proponent of testosterone for the right person, but I think we also need to understand what problems are causing us to have these issues in the first place.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just one of them. I mean, leaky gut is a very common issue for people.
That's really interesting. I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
So people that are on testosterone replacement therapy, if they're not addressing the actual reason for it, are just kind of they're just keeping up, right? If they come off of that therapy, then it's just going to continue to happen.
Yeah, right. And the other thing is, like, it's almost masking a problem because the testosterone replacement is still going to give them better energy. They're going to retain more muscle and be able to gain muscle and have better cognitive function. Like, there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But the problem is, if you continue to have leaky gut, you'll have other issues as well, because lipopolysaccharides in being chronically inflamed, it does more than just suppress your testosterone. Chronic inflammation is a cause of nearly every major chronic disease we have.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, just like making sure that you're addressing it on both fronts, I think is really helpful in that unique situation.
And is that something you address with diet, or is there other ways to kind of go about it?
Yeah, diet and supplementation. Typically, it's a phased approach for gut health. Like, you need to remove any parasites, bacterial overgrowths, infections that you might have, right? Mm-hmm. And then you need to restore the microbiome. So you need to restore the gut bacteria in your gut to healthy balance of them. And then you can go in and heal the intestinal wall. And that's typically like, there's nutrients you can use to do that.
Is it probiotics that help with that, or is there something
probiotics
else?
can be part of the process.
Okay.
So in the first part of that process, when we're killing off microbes, right, there's the traditional medicine way would be like antibiotics. They'll give you a round of antibiotics, right?
Yeah.
I've had enough of those. But, we'll use herbal treatment. So Some people may have heard berberine, which is really hot in the world of like diabetes right now and blood sugar control, but is also really helpful for killing off microbes if used at the right time. Meaning like if you take it on an empty stomach, it'll actually impact the gut microbiome more. And if you take it with food, it'll help you control your blood sugar. So berberine's a great one, but it honestly really does depend on the specific bacterial overgrowth you have, because certain nutrients are toxic to certain types of bacteria. So you have to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But so if let's say you go through a phase of killing off the bad bacteria in your gut, or the parasites or whatever it might be, then you want to replenish that microbiome, because you might have killed off some good stuff too, right?
Right. Yeah.
With fiber, typically fiber is a prebiotic and it feeds the good bacteria. And then probiotics, which are the bacteria themselves, you're going to want to add some extra good bacteria in there as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you can go in and add some healing nutrients to help heal and kind of seal up the gaps that happen from intestinal permeability.
Okay. So this is all the types of guidance that you're providing to your clients.
Yeah.
And how are people finding you, and who is it that you're looking for? Is it a broad kind of group that you're looking for, and how are people finding you?
Yeah, I mean, mostly people are finding me on Instagram. We're live streaming today.
Yeah, that's great.
Most people are finding me on Instagram or YouTube, social media, and then obviously like my clients, when they get results, they refer their friends and family. And so
best
like
way to get business. Yeah.
And so that's mostly how I'm finding people. What was the second part of your question?
What was the second part of my question? So who's your ideal client, or is it just kind of anybody who's looking to get healthy or optimize?
No, that's a good question. I think, typically we're working with people who want to perform and be at their absolute best in their life.
Okay.
So they care about peak performance, whether that be for business or for their family or for a hobby that they want to have, right?
Yeah.
Typically, like if you just want to be okay and like going through your life and, be normal, I'm probably not the person to help you.
Okay.
We're going to take people to, be at their absolute best and function at their highest that they could possibly function at, right? And I think there's a certain type of person that is helpful for. We're also not dealing with like a lot of chronic disease.
Okay.
Like some of our clients do have like diabetes or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not that we don't deal with that, but we're like, I'm not a physician, we're not gonna go that. We're doing this primarily through the lens of performance and health optimization, which is different than through the lens of sickness and disease.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, you have to work with your health professionals for sure.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's great. So you're kind of dealing with a lot. You're growing a business. Where do you see it going? What are some of the plans that you have for it?
Yeah. So, I think we'll probably stick with the game plan we have right now, which is we work with our clients on a one-to-one basis. Mm-hmm. We will as we continue to grow up, I will have to hire more people. Yeah. And, I have one coach that works with me right now, and she coaches some of the clients that helps coach them. So yeah, I see it continuing to grow and us continuing to help people. We'll probably still keep it at a one-to-one service. We've tried doing like group and other versions of it in the past, but with the way that we help people so specifically, it's hard to deliver the type of service that I want to deliver in a group. And I also think part of the experience that I had seeing a lot of my doctors in programs that I tried for myself was that I felt like I went in, I got these lab tests done, and then I met with someone for 30 minutes. They gave me a protocol and said, see you in 6 months. I was like, well, what do I do if it doesn't go right? Right. And like the type of service that I want to provide is a more one-to-one, in-depth and personalized relationship with my clients. Mm-hmm. And so we are constantly interacting with them, getting feedback, making adjustments to their game plan. We're monitoring their Whoop data or their Aura ring and making adjustments for them to help them get the best protocol in place that's going to help them. And because the level of services they're implementing, I think that limits the amount of people that we can serve, which is totally okay. I don't need to serve a bazillion people.
Sure. Yeah.
I just want to serve less people more in depth and really help them.
Gotcha. So, and then you can hopefully scale by attracting more coaches to it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what are the kind of the hot topics that are out there these days? What are people asking you about and coming to you for?
What are people asking me about? So a lot of people are asking me about weight loss. Obviously, fat loss is a big piece of the puzzle here. And a lot of people are coming to me because they're like, I'm not sure I want to use GLP-1s, which are the new, weight loss drugs, Ozempic, semaglutide, and tirzepatide. they're like, I want to do this a little bit more naturally. Like, what can you do to help me out from a fat loss perspective? That's a very common issue that people have. And usually it's like that combined with low energy and brain fog. It's like several other things too, right? That they're trying to work.
It's all connected, right?
It's all connected, right? So I would say like most people are in that realm of trying to figure that piece out, whether they have low energy or it seems like they have weight loss resistance, or they just want to live a really, like their goal is longevity and they want to get a better understanding of their body so they can set themselves up for success in that way.
Sure.
So I would say that those are probably the main ones: energy, fat loss, muscle building, cognitive performance, and longevity.
Yeah. I hear a lot about longevity these days and people, wanting to find ways to live longer and just stay healthy and have a better quality of life. A lot of the people that we work with are older. They're reaching Medicare age. Those are the people that we tend to help the most. And, a lot of them don't know where to begin. And there are people out there who think it might be too late to start. Yeah. Can you speak a little bit about, the effects of changing some of these healthy habits on an aging person and trying to live longer and improve your life? Yeah, absolutely. So after the age of 30, we are going to lose muscle mass if we don't do something about it. Sure. Right? And I'm going to totally botch the number here, so I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. But I want to say it's something like 10%. We lose 10% of our muscle mass every decade if that we don't do resistance training, eat enough protein, and do the right things. Right. Okay. And so it doesn't really affect you much when you're 40, right? After 30, but when you're 50 or when you're 60 or when you're 70. It makes a really big difference in your health and longevity and the things that you can do. Right. Because muscle is what allows you to be functional, right? And so, I think focusing on that is really helpful for people as they age. And you don't need to start, the way I explain it right now makes it seem like, I've already lost 30% of my muscle, it must be too late to start. It's not too late to start. If you start working towards some of these pieces of your health, you can reverse that. You can reverse your biological age. You can start gaining muscle mass, and it doesn't matter how old you are, and become more of a functional human being that's going to be set up to live a longer life. There are a lot of things you can do, and it's never too late to start a journey for your health. That's great to know. Yeah, yeah. So we've seen research where people start in their 80s and they gain muscle. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So that you can always do things that can improve your outcomes and your health. You can always do things. And I think. I think obviously the earlier you can start, the better. Of course. Always. But it's never, it's too late for me. Right. That's, I think that if that was the case, it's not the case. Yeah. Let's leave it at that. Now, how about for those people who think they're just all or nothing, and that might be what's keeping them from taking that first step? Do you need to work out 7 days a week? Do you need to go hard at it? Do you need, what can you do at a bare minimum that would have an effect? Yeah, I think that social media has really caused a problem here. But I think it makes people think that they need to do so much for their health, and you don't need to do as much as you think you need to do, right? Like we'll start with resistance training, right? Resistance training obviously is really helpful for people as we age, right? We actually know that aside from VO2 max, which is basically a measure of endurance, that the best predictors of lifespan are how strong you are, how much muscle mass you have. And so we do want to be making us, and then the top one is your VO2 max, which is endurance, right? Right. And so from a muscle mass perspective and maintaining that as you age, you really just need 2 sessions of strength training per week. And if you haven't done it in a long time, 2 a week, full body, you don't need to do a ton, but doing some resistance training, it can just be your body weight. You can be doing some air squats and some push-ups on a desk, right? It doesn't have to be a ton. Right. But if you can challenge each of your muscles twice a week, go for a walk every day and set a step goal and try to progress that up a little bit more so you can get some more movement in. Yeah. You're doing pretty much everything that matters from a fitness perspective. And obviously we can add some cardiovascular exercise in. That'd be helpful too, or get your heart rate up a little bit. But for the most part, the main thing is that we stay strong enough so that when we fall, we don't break a hip and all these bad things happen. Yeah, absolutely. You maintain balance and it's great for mental health too. If you're not fit and you're not
Absolutely.
capable, then that has an effect on your mental health as well.
Absolutely.
So that's great. That's good to know that it's never too late to start, and you don't really have to go hard at it. You can start small.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Build upon it.
And I also think that women are afraid of gaining muscle because they don't want to get too bulky.
Yeah,
I've heard that so many
I hear
times,
that a
right?
lot. Yeah.
And I promise it's not going to happen. I have been desperately trying to get too bulky for years.
That's important too. So that's awesome. So this has been such a great conversation. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do want to have you back. I feel like there's a few focus topics we can get into at a later date.
Sure.
But the way we end the episode every time is we ask you to share a health hack with the audience. So this is something that you practice in your daily life that impacts your either physical, emotional, or financial health. So just an easy health hack that people can take away.
Yeah. So I think the biggest hack that people underestimate is just walking outside, just getting outside in the sun and moving your body. And I would say it is a physical health hack, obviously, because the more movement we get, the better. We do want to get more steps in our day. But honestly, I think it's as much of a mental health hack as it is when you walk outside, that is, as it is a physical health hack. And so what I do is I do it after a meal, because it will help aid in digestion and support blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity. Walking outside after a meal in the sun, you can eat it while doing, breathing only through your nose. You can check off like 9 boxes at once just by doing that.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think going for a walk outside and just in nature, enjoying nature.
Yeah, that's a great one, especially because there's little barrier to doing it. Just put your shoes on, go outside.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's great. I thank you for that one.
Of course.
And thank you for taking the time to be here with us on Sounds of Health. We really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll have you back at some point.
Yeah, it was great being here. Thanks, Trevor.
All right. So that's a wrap on another episode of Sounds of Health. We want to thank all of you out there for listening, and we hope that you will continue to listen as an important part of our wellness community. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast, and even leave us a review. We'd love hearing from you, and would love to get more feedback from all of you on how we're doing and what you want to hear. So if you know anyone out there who you think would make a great guest on the show, please be sure to let us know in the comments, and we will be in touch with you. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.